Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Brink of Sanity episode. I looked at it 4 times already and I forgot. 376. How you doing, Mark?
Good. Do we have buzzing this week?
No, we don't have buzzing this week.
The Nick show had buzzing. Are you sure we don't have buzzing?
Yeah.
Cool. Then I am doing good, Jay. I am happy to be here. And by here, I mean in my house where I am 95% of the time for the last 2 years. It's awesome.
You're still working remote, right?
I'm still working 100% remote. I barely leave my house. It's been 2 years. I guess I'm getting ready for COVID to be over. How are you doing?
Well, I am not in the I am not in the house all the time because I have to go to the office, which is just awesome. I mean, you know, people in the building getting COVID, and every time I stand up from my desk, I got to wear a mask. It's really cool.
Yeah. So I have to say, when you talk about going back to the office, when I mean COVID being over, I mean everything besides going back to the office. I'm fine, I guess. Like I talked to one of my coworkers this week, and she's like, "Do you want to go back in?" I'm like, she goes, "Are you ever want to go back in?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Well, you don't ever want to." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe one day a week, every other week. I could do that, just to see some people."
I don't get why people would want to.
I can see going in as I've now worked from home almost 2 straight years. I can see why you'd want to go in the office once in a while, even once a week, max would be fine with me.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Once a week would be awesome.
You know what? The one thing that colors it. So you have to take a train to the office.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a commute. I have to do the same thing. If I lived in the city and my office was like a 15-minute walk, yeah, I'd be fine going in. It's really the commute aspect of it that makes it the worst.
Just spending a couple $100 too.
Yeah. I mean, everything. Like the commute is the cost, and it's the dead time when you're sitting on a train for an hour each way, and just not ideal.
Yeah.
But Jay, you have to wear a mask in your office, but it's safe to go in.
It's safe to stand at my desk, but if I stand up and move 2 feet from my desk, it is not safe, and then I have to wear a mask.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally normal.
I have like a bubble of no COVID around my desk, and it's safe there, but it's all around my desk.
I think Joe Rogan does not believe you have a safe bubble around your desk.
Well, the owner.
But actually, he might believe your whole office. He might believe the planet is safe from COVID. But
well, the owner of the company I work for does believe that. So
okay, tell me, does this worry you at all? So Cornell University, where I went to school, they to be on campus, you have to be vaccinated. It's a good thing, right? Yeah. And they have accounted for the fact that college students are stupid. They are testing every student on campus has to be tested twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
They have now 900 cases. Does that concern you?
Well, I mean, yes and no. Like none of them are really sick. They're just they're all like asymptomatic. So it's not great, but it's not like they're dropping dead in the classrooms.
Right. I guess I was starting to think like, how does this end? Besides like the human race ending, like how does this actually end? So this ends with COVID hopefully getting weaker and weaker, so it's a non-factor. Where to the point where like, you have the sniffles? Yeah, I got COVID, but I can just go in the office. It doesn't even matter if I go in the office. No one really cares if they get COVID these days because it's very mild.
We're starting off on the really funny topics here today. Huh?
Yeah, sorry. Fine. Sorry.
Welcome to our comedy show, folks.
Fine. Screw you, Jay. I have a bit I want to do. I have a game for Jay to play.
Okay.
Jay, you want to play a game? You like playing games?
Would you like to play a game?
You like to play a game, son?
I watched the new...
touch your nipples.
I watched the new Saw spinoff movie, by the way.
There's a new Saw spinoff movie?
Yeah, starring Chris Rock.
Oh. Wait, is it just came out or has it been out for a while?
Came out like 4 months ago.
You know what's great? I am so far behind on movies that like I'd see something on TNT and I was like, oh, I wanted to see that. That's out already on TNT?
Yeah, it came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just so goddamn behind. What is the what was the Saw? I didn't even know there was a sequel. So Chris Rock, hilarious comedian, is historically terrible in movies. Is he good in this?
Yeah, he's decent. He's a cop, and
Okay.
it's a like a completely straight role.
Oh, okay. Which is all definitely what I want to see from my comedians. Them going to serious roles.
Well, it's
That's what I
better
want to see
than
from you.
him trying to crack jokes during like a Saw movie.
That actually sounds so much better.
He just starts doing his stand up while he has a chainsaw aimed at his crotch.
I kind of want to see Seinfeld being the cop. Being, you ever notice when he's setting all of these games? How do they get these elaborate games? How does he set this up? Who works for him?
Why do they call it a saw when I already saw it? It should be called a scene.
So what was it called?
Spiral.
Okay. Well, was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was better than the last
Okay.
two in the Saw series.
Okay. I actually have a serious question for you.
Yeah.
Are you a Matrix fan?
Not really.
No, well, then this question sucks. I was going to ask you. I've seen the first one. I never got around to seeing part 2 and part 3 because I heard they were kind of bad. But they're coming out with a new one, and I want to watch the new one. Do I have to see part 2 and part 3 to see part 4?
Probably. They weren't that bad. They were all the same. They're confusing and there's cool action scenes. That was every single movie.
Can I skip over part 2? What happened? Do I really need to see part 2 and part 3 to get part 4?
I didn't understand any of them, so I don't know. I was in the middle of part 3, and I remember just posting, like, at any point do any of these movies make sense?
So it's on HBO and in the theaters. This is like one of the first movies where I'm like, oh, this is going to be, I can watch this at home, and like I actually kind of want to see this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of excited to see it, but I'm like, I mean, how much could I really? I get it. He's the Matrix. He's the one. How confused could I be?
I'm going to guess very.
You think so?
I don't think you're going to be, although since I didn't understand any of the movies, you're probably not going to be any more confused than me.
My understanding is there's a red pill and the blue pill, and the bus goes below 50 miles per hour, it blows up.
Also, the devil is the owner of a company that he works for.
And
at some point, he's
I
an
don't-
angel that has wings.
so I have a game for you, Jay.
He's
I told
also
you I
a
had a game for him.
time-traveling stoner.
Yeah. What other movies is he in? Can I reference?
Somebody killed his dog, and then he went for revenge.
I don't know that one.
That's John Wick.
I didn't see John. Was John Wick good?
It was awesome. Well, yeah, all three of them were great.
Oh, okay. Well, is that streaming anywhere, Jay? Could you be my? Why is there not a site where I could just look and see where this stuff is streaming?
Because there is.
What's the site?
It is called Real Good, and you can actually like add movies, and you can go to your list, and it'll tell you tell them what services you have, and then you put in a movie, and it'll tell you if it's on any of those services, or you can put in a movie and save it, and check on it periodically to see if it got added to any service.
Oh, okay. Well,
You're welcome.
why isn't there a service that delivers bags of cash to my house also? Jay?
So there's this app. Yeah. Anthony said Just Watch is the same thing. Andrew said Just Watch works just as well. He also said he remembers being bored during The Matrix until there was an action scene and then going back to being bored.
Okay. I'm going to watch it. I have found that I watch all my kids all these old movies, and every movie I look for is just not, I have to pay for. Like I wanted to show my daughter Hook because she's in a Peter Pan play. So I'm like, oh, Hook, they must be streaming that somewhere, and no, they're not streaming it anywhere.
I feel like all the streaming services are focusing on TV shows, and movies just disappear forever now.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so Jay, before I start the game and tell you what the game is, any ideas what the game is? What game would I have come up with for you? I think it could be a game in itself. You try to guess the game.
Is it Would You Rather?
It's not Would You Rather, which would be, I would have just told you it's Would You Rather, because I like doing Would You Rathers, as anyone who's listened to more than 2 episodes knows.
Is it Over Under?
Can we do a Would You Rather podcast?
Is it?
Where every episode was,
We had
Over
about
under would
50
also be-
straight episodes of that.
I can never stop with those.
Anthony wants to know what the points are for. If you're watching on Twitch, you get points the longer you watch. And there's like a menu of things that we're supposed to do. There's pretty much the default. We didn't come up with a list of things to do to cash in the points, except I added like hydrate. So like if you cash one in, we take a drink. But like we should make a fun list of things to do.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
What would we have on this? So basically, people get points, and we have to do certain things like.
Yeah, it's like cash in 50 points and we take a drink, or cash in 75 points and we do something else. But we have to make that list of things to do.
Okay, well, let's brainstorm here, Jay. Jay, you took a drink. Someone give you 50 points.
No, but I did add a hydrate one so that if somebody turns in points for hydrate, then we take a drink.
How many points to take off your shirt?
I am not doing that. Nobody wants to see that. We're trying to gain listeners, not lose listeners.
What if someone had 12 points? Could you take off your shirt for that?
I just said no, and you get 12 points for watching like 5 minutes. Like, just for reference, Anthony says he has 22,000 and Andrew has 13,000. So
Jay's like, great, I have to kill my girlfriend. I can't believe we put this on the list.
I never thought anybody would get over 10,000 points.
How about I don't know, a certain number to come on the show? Of course, they could also come on the show just asking us.
Yeah, or just email us and we let anybody on the show. By the way, we have a guest next week, Fred Joyle. He's an author and he's been in some movies. So looking forward to that.
Very special episode. What if we will, for a certain number of points, 1,000 points, and we'll write your name on our head?
1,000 points, Marco Wright. Your name.
Well, Jay, you seem to have a better forehead for this.
What are you saying?
What else? Jay will do a shot for 1,000 points or out of boredom.
So let's.
Oh, I got it. Jay, I got the best one.
Okay.
For 10,000 points, Jay sets up an account on TikTok.
I'll add some for the next show.
For 5,000 points, Jay cuts his toe hairs on the show.
For the last time, I plucked them. I don't cut them.
Okay, well, I wouldn't know, Jay. You haven't demonstrated. Can you do a tutorial?
Anthony wants you to kiss a homeless guy's feet for 10,000.
I'm not allowed to leave my house, Anthony, so you have to get something that involves me staying here.
Yeah, it's
my wife is still very scared of COVID. We are doing less than most people at this point. Jay, I have a question for you. Would you let me in your apartment now without a mask?
Yeah, but I wouldn't touch you. Like if you tried to shake my hand or anything. Like no.
As opposed to normal times when you're like, yes, Mark, I would touch you. Just anywhere on your body, Mark. That was such a weird thing. I wouldn't touch you, Mark.
Not unless you I know you'd come over.
You pay for dinner, I'll touch you.
I know you'd come over and be like, stick out your hand to shake it. And I'd be like, no.
I have a question, but why would you not shake my hand, though? Because it doesn't spread that way.
Because you don't wash your hands, and I'm using COVID as an excuse.
That's an honest answer, at least.
Sorry, man. COVID. I don't know.
Would you fist bump me?
You're like, Jay, COVID's been eradicated for like 5 years. I'm like, sorry, man. Still traumatized about it.
Okay, Jay, would you rub my belly through my shirt?
How are people going to turn in points and then you do all these impossible things like, yeah, hold on while I leave this room open for 2.5 hours while I go to Mark's?
No, I meant if I come over to your place, live on the show.
The whole point is supposed to be that they do it during the show.
If I ever came to your place, could we do a show from your apartment now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thinking about. Yeah.
They want to trade in 5,000 points for you to do the show in front of your family so they could hear all your weird topics.
Oh, God, no. There'll never be enough points for that. Jay will have his shirt off, and he'll be touching my hands before I do that. Okay, so any other guesses before I tell you what the game is?
I have no idea what your game is.
I want you to make one more guess. Come on.
This is your life? Who are you bringing in? What?
That'd be great if I was like, it's Fun Sponge. Move on over.
So
Okay,
the
so I
last, by the way, the last email from Fun Sponge was about a year and a half ago that said, "I'm going to email you more often."
Okay. Would it be great if actually it would have been interesting if the last email from Fun Sponge was like in like January 2020, which she's like, something's coming from Asia. Be scared. Okay, so a very simple game. Two truths and a lie.
Okay.
But headline edition. So every week, or many shows, I have stories for the show. I had a backlog of stories because we haven't done a break in a while with stories. And so I decided to take the stories I have and make a little game where two of the stories are real stories I found, and one is I made up. And the question here is, can Jay guess which one I made up?
Which real life has gotten so insane. This is actually going to be a hard game.
Yeah, we can talk about the stories that are real. I'm wondering how good. I tried to be very creative, just to let you know. So they're all okay. First one, you ready?
Yeah.
And you might, and of the real stories, there's a chance you might just know they're real because you might have heard them. But in the mid 1980s, have you heard of A&W Restaurant?
No. Don't they make like a root beer?
Yes, they do. In the mid 1980s, they decided to compete with McDonald's. McDonald's offered up the quarter pounder, and A&W decided we're going to offer off the 1/3 pounder burger. The promotion failed because the American public did not understand that 1/3 was greater than one quarter. The quarter basically was the same.
Bigger than 3.
Yeah, basically it was the same price, but Americans thought they were getting a better deal with the quarter pounder.
Oh, America! So that one,
I have two more stories. But
Okay.
yeah, what are you gonna say, Jay?
Do I guess
on, Jay?
after each one, or do I wait for all 3?
You wait for all 3.
Okay.
A new study out of Holland shows that drinking 4 cups or more of coffee a day can lead to long-term impotence. So coffee's good for you up to a point.
So 3.5, you're fine. 4, your dick don't work.
4, your dick don't work. Yes.
Okay.
So how much coffee do you drink, Jay?
0.
Oh, okay. Well, Jay's hard as a rock for the show.
That's the one good thing of anxiety. I was able to kick all caffeine. So
Okay.
nothing.
Okay. So a man got decided to do a what is it called? When you a food hack. He got an unlimited pass to Six Flags Great Adventure. And the unlimited pass year round includes meals, 2 meals. He's been paying $150 for this pass, and for the last 7 years, all he's been eating is food from Six Flags.
What? So he's been eating like that fried dough with the powdered sugar on it. And
I guess so. I guess so.
funnel
I'm not sure
cake.
what the meal, but they offer up meals, and he's been eating those 2 meals every day for 6 years or 7 years, and that's his hack for saving thousands of dollars.
Does he know you can get meals for less than $75?
Probably a pretty good deal. Jay, you don't think that'd be a good way to save money if you were up for eating those meals?
No, I think he's paying like 6 times as much as you need to pay.
No. It's all his meals for the year.
For $75?
I think $150 for the year.
Oh,
you
I thought he was paying
you-
$75
sorry.
a day.
No, $150 for the entire year, an annual pass, and the annual pass includes 2 meals a day.
Oh. Okay.
So $150, all your meals for the entire year.
Oh, well, that's great.
As long as you're okay with eating that food.
Right. Yeah, he's probably eating hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to go with, I know A&W is true. I've heard that one before.
Damn it.
I'm going to go with Six Flags one being true because that just seems like something somebody would do.
Okay, you're right. 4 cups of coffee does not lead to long-term impotence yet. I didn't know. I'm curious about how tricky one that is. But
I mean, no, that was good. It was just I just feel like somebody would do that, and you know what? If a couple people start doing it, then they're just going to pull the deal because they'll realize that people are actually getting their money's worth, and then end it.
I mean, the craziest part of that story is that he did it for 7 years and lived.
Yeah, seriously, he's probably eating nothing but fried food.
I mean, it's probably like, I mean, like, they're probably like, yeah, it's a hack, but how fucking, like, would you really do this? And this guy's like, yeah, I did it. Okay.
And then just going on like roller coasters afterwards.
Okay, so I have 4 of these. So you won the first round.
Okay.
You ready for round 2?
I'm ready.
The rounds don't get any harder. So Snickers has announced they are doing an ad campaign that premieres in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
It focuses on a real life guy who claims to have lost in the last year 110 pounds by only eating Snickers.
So he's the Jared of Snickers.
Yes. Basically, this guy has copied the Jared method, has only eaten Snickers. They didn't say how much Snickers he ate, but he's only eaten Snickers, and he's lost 110 pounds, and Snickers is doing an ad campaign around this. I'm assuming they're not gonna say this is gonna lose you weight, but apparently this is a big enough story to have a commercial about it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Next one. A Brazilian man was attacked by bees. How do you escape when you're attacked by bees? What would be the best thing to do, Jay?
Run probably.
Jump into water if there's nearby water.
If there's nearby water, maybe do like a predator and roll around in the mud.
So he was attacked by bees, jumped into the water, and was eaten by piranhas. Third story. Have you been following the metaverse, Jay?
I know it's a Facebook spinoff, but I don't really know what it is or.
We can talk more about it. But metaverse is supposed to be like, well, Ready Player One. You've seen that, or you know what that is?
Yeah, I read the book. Yeah, I watched the movie too, actually.
Okay, so the idea basically is this whole virtual world you're going to live in, and countries have people have started buying real estate in the metaverse.
Oh my god,
which is crazy. Anyway, so the nation of Barbados has set up an embassy in the metaverse. You can now go to the metaverse. I'm not sure how you go there, but you can visit the embassy for Barbados.
people are paying real money for real estate in this fake metaverse.
Apparently, I read this whole article about how like is this like a gold rush? Like there's all this land, so to speak, to buy in the metaverse, and the real estate could go up, and they have like things of like, well, this was worth this, and now it's worth this, and so if you'd bought it then, all this like NFT and all this stuff this stuff's going to be a fad, right? All this shit's going to go away.
Yeah, I don't get how anybody buys an NFT. I really don't understand.
I to a certain extent, I understand that it can basically make something unique. So you can't I understand the idea of what an NFT does. I just think most of the stuff people are buying, like the what are the people buying? Like they're buying like the craziest stuff, like these pictures, these just basic graphic art on computers. Most of it is not going to be worth anything eventually.
Like
when all this fad ends.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so which story is not real? The Snickers bar, the man in Brazil, or Barbados getting an embassy in the metaverse?
This is a tough one.
Stepped it up for this one, Jay. Trying to be more creative. I feel like the first one I kind of not as creative.
I'm gonna go with the fake one being the Snickers bar.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, wow. I mean, all of them are like insane stories.
Yeah. They're all kind of insane.
I
Okay.
just figured the Snickers one, I don't know if you could live on chocolate and peanuts for a whole year.
But you could kind of believe if that was true, you'd be like, yeah, makes sense.
I would have been, I would have accepted any of those as fake because like they all seem like they could have been.
Okay, so it's round 3. Jay is 2 for 2. Hundreds stung. Hundreds. There was in Egypt. There was a plague of scorpions that was caused by extreme weather.
Okay. So it's like the Mummy.
The plagues are back, basically.
Okay.
I think I did a story a little while back about a plague of locusts in Africa. So,
Yeah, why not?
Number 2, they found a new ingredient to make an eco-friendly alternative to plastic. Is plastic good for us, Jay?
No, it's really bad.
So they found a way to create something that's good for the environment, friendly plastic. And you know what the main ingredient is? Sperm.
Sperm plastic.
Sperm plastic.
That sounds like a new word. That's sperm plastic.
Number 3. There's a school district in San Francisco that has announced that Dr. Seuss books will no longer be allowed to be carried in the elementary school because Dr. Seuss has been deemed racist and bigoted because he worked as a political cartoonist in the early 1940s and made some very what they deemed racist and bigoted political cartoons that were somewhat in reaction to America entering World War II. So do you believe the plague in Egypt? Do you believe in sperm plastic? Or do you believe in this Dr. Seuss elementary banning?
Well, I've heard the Plague of Scorpions one.
Son of a bitch, Jay.
The thing is, I know Dr. Seuss made some cartoons in the early days that are pissing people off. But I feel like sperm plastic has to be real too. Because I know
Final answer, Jay.
I know people were going after Dr. Seuss like a year or two ago.
What's your final answer, Jay?
But I haven't heard anything recently.
Do you follow weird news, Jay?
Not close enough, apparently. I'm going to go with Dr. Seuss being the fake one.
Son of a bitch.
Really? So there is sperm plastic. I kind of just wanted that to be real.
There's no. You're right. There's Dr. Seuss. I made it up based on he really was a political cartoonist. People didn't like his political cartoons, but no one's banning him or anything for that. But he has been controversial.
They tried to cancel him, but it didn't work.
Yeah, no one canceled. Yeah.
Oh, no, they pulled like 4 of his books.
Yeah, something like that.
Something about the zoo one got canceled.
But there were 2 strands of DNA from sperm were combined with a chemical from vegetable oil that binds them together. This creates a squishy material known as hydrogel, which has been being used to make plastic.
Anthony said there was a plague of mice in Australia. Is that true?
I think so, yes.
We have 2 different plagues going on with different animals?
I think we covered this on the show also, actually.
Yeah, I think.
I think we did. I think the plastic, by the way, I think the sperm are from it's not human sperm. It's not like, Jay, you like the environment, go jerk off, Jay. We need your sperm. I think it's. But it would be kind of funny though if your husband's like, Jay, just do your part. I don't want to jerk off into the cup, Jay. I think it's. I don't know why they'd figure this out, but I think it's from a fish, a salmon sperm. The doctor had to explain, doctor, what are you doing with the salmon? Saving the environment? Okay, last one, Jay. See if I can get you here.
7,500 points to make Jay make sperm plastic on the show.
You know what? I have no, I have 2 more actually. Okay. Did you know, Jay, that when you talk about do you get a regular Christmas tree, Jay, or a fake Christmas tree?
This year I got an evergreen, so I don't have to deal with all the needles all over the floor, and I could just leave it the whole year.
Okay, but so wait, how do you? It'll just you keep watering and it'll just stay alive in your apartment.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep it a Christmas tree in your apartment the whole year?
It's small. I got like a 2 foot one. So
Okay. So some people don't think it's great for the environment. A study was done, and they said that the reusable the reusable Christmas trees are only environmentally friendly or better than a real Christmas tree if they're used for at least a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Or else the carbon footprint of the plastic one is still worse than just using a new one every year.
then going through 10 real trees.
Yes, apparently 10 real trees are better than one plastic tree, or equivalent basically to one plastic tree.
Okay.
Number 2, Tesla allows you when you're driving your car to play video games.
As a driver or a passenger?
As a driver, you have to say you're the passenger, but you can actively play video games while you are driving your car. Which leads to 2 things. First of all, Tesla thought a car should have a video game where the driver could reach it. And people are doing that. People are hitting, I guess they have an autopilot thing, and so people are playing games like solitaire while their car speeds down the highway.
That is brilliant. Good stuff. Man of the year. Make him man of the year.
An inventor in Texas, of course, Texas, and they point out he's part of some extremely religious church there, is doing a Kickstarter to build a chip that can be implanted in a gay man and will convert that man to being straight. His project, before being taken down from Kickstarter, had asked for $50,000 and had raised $300,000.
So that's the kind of story that you're like, that's batshit crazy. There's no way that could be true. But this is America, and it is a past.
America!
So,
America, fuck yeah! So basically, Christmas tree, the Tesla video games, or the gay chip conversion thing on Kickstarter.
well, I think Christmas tree is real.
Okay.
So now we're down to the video games of the past.
I'm not telling you if it's real. I'm just telling you it could be.
I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's real. So, video game cars or gay chip. I'm gonna go with the video game car one being the fake one.
I win!
Which one was it?
Well, the gay chip thing is fake.
Okay. I was. That's how insane our country is. That I thought that was reasonably possible.
That's why I put it down there. Yes, that's why I made it. I was like, this sounds like you have to like crazy church, crazy Texan, like our country is this crazy. So Tesla,
yeah, it's the pastor thing that put me over the top.
yeah, the Tesla thing. You can play video games while riding in your car on the screen. I don't know where the screen exactly sits. I think it sits like by where you're driving, or maybe in the middle console.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is wrong with Tesla?
That's ridiculous.
Okay. My last one for you. A Michigan woman has tried to hire an assassin by going to the site rentahitman.com. It was a fake site, and now she's going to prison. Number 2, a woman in Iowa is suing her child's school, claiming that the child they returned to her at the end of one of the school days is not her real child, but a clone meant to fool her. And then in Canada, there is a massive shortage, so the Canadian government is tapping into their strategic reserves of maple syrup. So we have here a rent-a-hitman, a woman suing the Iowa school for a cloned child, and the Canadian government saying, Canadian government both having strategic reserves of maple syrup and tapping into them to deal with the shortages that are hitting our society.
I'm going to say the fake one is maple syrup.
Jay is wrong. Wow, I really came in at the end of this.
You did.
Yeah, that's right. And so of the two, the first two, you want to try again?
Mm, the kid one?
Yeah, that being fake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The clone child is fake. But again, we live in a weird world. I would have believed that.
It's hilarious. I mean, I'll give you points for creativity on that one.
The
I mean,
Rent
if
the
you said
Hitman,
like Appalachia, I would have been like, yeah, why not?
you're like, how many lawsuits?
Yeah.
So the Rent the Hitman thing is kind of an interesting story. The guy, so some guy, let me find the details.
So it's like,
Oh yeah. So actually, this guy launched this website called rentahitman.com as a business. It wasn't about actual hitmen. He was someone that was going to help your online website get more hits. And so his site was called Rent a Hitman. At some point, he started the business didn't work out, I guess, but people would contact him and go, I'm looking for a hitman to kill so-and-so. And he's just left the website up there. And it's just, and when people send in things that sound like they legitimately want to have someone killed, he just refers them to the authorities.
that's so funny.
But he just owns the site, and he's just like, every once in a while, someone just contacts me looking for a hitman because people are this fucking stupid.
Imagine just going to a random site and opening with that, not even like testing the waters.
Could you imagine the best part of like, I need a hitman? Google, could you find me a hitman?
That's amazing.
But by the way, as far as the metaverse, Facebook is creating, or Meta, as they're now called, is creating a glove that will allow you to feel things in the metaverse. So the glove has like air pockets that inflate. It's basically like artificial things in the glove that when you touch things in the metaverse, it'll actually feel sensation.
Does everything feel like a desk? Or like the desk chair? It's like you're just feeling what's around you. It's like,
right. Well, first of all, how fast is that going to be copied and be on Pornhub?
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised it's not on there already.
My understanding of the metaverse so far are the two areas it's going to be used for are porn, obviously, and then apparently making Zoom meetings worse. And actually,
is it up already?
The metaverse?
Yeah.
I don't know what it even means, to be honest. I know it's like a version. I don't think it's. I don't know. I guess you have to wear an Oculus and.
When you buy property in the metaverse,
where is it?
Can you buy a shotgun and sit on your porch and like shoot the other meta people that try and get on your property?
Remember when Bri was on the show many years ago, and we talked about buying an apartment in New York City, and he said, "I don't understand how you can buy an apartment in New York City."
Yeah.
Do you think he had? And we were just didn't quite. He just didn't understand how you could buy a part of a building. Do you think he's going to understand buying property in the metaverse?
Yeah. If he couldn't understand buying an apartment, he's definitely not getting the metaverse.
Yeah, I'm not really. I think there are like games you can play within the metaverse, I guess. I don't think there's a fully functional metaverse. They say like if you're playing Roblox or playing Fortnite, you're kind of in the metaverse type thing because you're in an interactive game where you're interacting with other people. But I think the goal is like Ready Player One where you're fully immersed in it.
I just want to go in there and just start pillaging.
Have you played with like an Oculus or one of those like
yeah,
like those? What do you think of it?
I only played really briefly, but it was pretty cool. They're coming out with a new one for PlayStation next year, so I'm going to wait for the upgraded one before I get one.
So my son wants one for his birthday, which is in June. So I was going to get him one around June. I'll see what they have out. But
I think by June they'll probably have the PSVR 2.
Oh, okay. Jay, do you know what the most searched Google terms are in the world? Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
So for this year, I have the top 5 here. See if you can guess. Actually, I have the top 10. Sorry. Do you think you can guess one of the top 10?
Google searches for the past year?
Yeah. So this is Google throughout the world, just the terms that were typed in here. And all English. No, all English word. So I'm nothing in another language.
Vaccine.
No.
Mask.
No. There's two on here you'll be like, yeah, okay. And there are a couple of them you'll understand pretty fast also.
Walmart.
No, so I'll tell you. So number one, the most searched term is Australia versus India. I imagine it must be a soccer match.
The most searched Google term was Australia versus India.
Second most searched term was India versus England. Number 7 on the list was India versus New Zealand. Number 6 was Copa America. Number 8 was T20 World Cup. I'm guessing these are all soccer related.
Andrew says cricket.
Oh, okay. There you go. Apparently cricket. Number 4 on the list is NBA.
Huh. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have guessed any of these.
Number 5 was Euro 2021, which I guess was the cricket. Number 9 is the one I thought you would guess. And this is the only one you kick yourself. Squid Game.
Yep.
Number 10 is DMX.
Really?
Yes. And number 3, which IPL. Is that a cricket thing also?
International Players League.
I mean, that sure.
Maybe
sure.
Maybe that's a cricket league.
It's an Indian Premier League. Yes, it's cricket. Yes, cricket did really well in the in this. They break it down also by that was just searches. You want us to hear see if you can guess news. Top 10 news.
Top 10 news.
This will make a lot more sense to you. I think all these.
Top 10 news is going to be the Premier League winner.
Actually, no.
I give up. How will the search?
These are actually going to be all. I'll read you them. They're all going to be pretty obvious, actually. Afghanistan was number 1. Number 2 is AMC stock. Number 3 is COVID vaccine. Then Dogecoin. Then GameStop stock. Stimulus check. Georgia Senate race. Hurricane Ida. COVID. Ethereum price.
I mean, Anthony's saying it's because DMX died this year, but
yeah,
but like Tom Petty died this year.
Did Tom Petty die this year?
No, that was like 4 years ago. Actually, never mind.
I was gonna say I didn't think. Actually, they have a list of passings. The top five list of passings. DMX is number 1. I don't know if I know the other 4. Number 2 is Gabby Petito. 3 is Marilia Mendonca. 4 is Prince Philip, I guess Prince Philip. And 5 is Brian Laundrie.
I don't know any of them. Should have been Norm Macdonald, really.
Yeah. You want to try to guess the TV shows?
Sure. Squid Game.
Yes, that's number 1.
You.
No. You like You?
I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. First season's good. It kind of really falls off a cliff. You're not going to guess it. The next 4 are Bridgerton, WandaVision, Cobra Kai, and Loki.
Okay.
Was Loki good? You watch that?
Nope, didn't watch it.
Okay, well, Jay, you're not really helpful for the show, are you? Do you want any more lists, or do you want to go to our top 5?
Let's go to the top 5.
Actually, also, just hang on, one more. For people searched, what's the number 1 person searched? I'll give you hints along the way.
Elon Musk.
Hit number 1, he's an actor.
Tom Hanks.
Hit number 2, he's not a good shooter.
Baldwin.
Yes. Actually, number 2 is also a shooter, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Who is the premier speaker at the next Republican convention.
Or vice presidential candidate. Who knows? So we also came up for the show a top 5. You ready for our top 5, Jay?
Yeah, so you said not a good shooter, and now the chat room's filling up with names of Knicks.
Awesome. I came up with the top 5. It's a little bit of a premise here. The premise is we have a secret Brink of Sanity listener who's a multi-billionaire. He's obsessed with the show, and wants to do something really creative. So he offers one of us. He says to me or Jay, he goes, Jay, I'm going to give you $1 million, but the $1 million can only be used to prank Mark. What pranks would you come up with? And the $1 million, you don't get to keep any money. So like if you spend $12, you don't get to keep the rest. So the money's only for the prank. And you have 5 shots, and it's $1 million per prank. So just what pranks did you come up with? I came up with some creative pranks for you, Jay.
All right. So my first one is going to be a mass misinformation campaign where Twitter is being flooded with all fake Mets rumors. So every day you think the Mets are getting the best player in the league, and Twitter's just going to be filled with thousands of fake accounts all tweeting about this every day for the whole season.
That would really, really fuck with me.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. This is my first one, and is what I came up with was, and I think the reason we're doing this bit, because I love this one so much. So the Dandy Warhols reveal they are secret Brink of Sanity fans. They call up and they come contact the show, and they're like, Jay, we're a huge fan. We're honored that you're a big fan of us also. We've been listening since episode 1. We would like you for our next show to introduce us. Come on the stage. You can just introduce us, say you're a big fan, promote the Brink of Sanity, and then we will perform, and you'll get to watch front row. Jay will be thrilled, as excited as you can be. And then the entire show by the Dandy Warhols will be covers by Drake.
The highest
That's a pretty good one.
From the highest highs to the lowest lows. So what are you spending, like $50,000 on the Dandy Warhols and $950,000 on Drake?
Yeah, well, they're covers, so they just Drake's
They're just covering Drake songs?
Yeah, they're just covering Drake songs. So not even just Drake being out there; they're covering. You hear your Dandy Warhols sing Drake songs.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like they start off with whatever song you're about to hear, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then they sing one of these shitty Drake songs.
All right. My next one is I hire somebody to break into your house at night and put a different variety of ants in your basement. Every month you just wake up and there's a swarm of a different kind. Sometimes you have red ants, sometimes you have fire ants, sometimes you have the teeny tiny ones, sometimes just the big black ones. You just never know.
Why are the first two like ones that will like injure me? Red ants and the fire ants?
I don't know much about ants. I was just naming ants I know. It would be funny if you went down to the basement and they're just stinging your ankles.
Okay, so a listener contacts the show. He is a well-to-do, rich listener who's made a ton of money in the NFT world.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's a big fan of Brink. He thinks there are a lot of fans of Brink out there. And also the show is just like kind of quirky. And especially he loves the opening song. He says, Jay, if you get me a copy of the song, I'm going to turn it into an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
I'll split the profits with you. And I think this might pull in $2 or $3 million. And Jay, he does enough to basically knows enough about this and convinces Jay that like, at the very least, you might make $1 million off this.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Jay, I just need a version of the song where there's no one talking over or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Jay goes in to listen. The first one he has, Mark is sniffling on. He's like, okay. Well, the next one, Mark is sniffling on. And he's like, well, I'll just pull it off of one of the Knicks or Brink episodes. Between the two shows, there's like 900 episodes. Every episode has me sniffling. One after another. We've replaced every episode in Jay's fucking computer with me sniffling on an important part of the song. Jay loses his mind as he goes through 900 episodes hearing me sniffle.
I mean, in reality, you'd only have to replace like 100 or 200. You're sniffling in all the rest of them. That's a good one. Okay, so this one is I hire a private investigator, find out where you guys are doing all your shopping, and when you go do your shopping. And
you mean find out when we're clicking Amazon? Buy?
No, you're food shopping. food
Okay.
shopping. And right before you do your food shopping, that person goes to the store and buys out all the black beans in the store. There's a black bean famine in a 20-mile radius of just your house.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Jay. So, a lot of mine bits have us involving finding out we have a secret fan. The same huge, really rich fan. So there's basically another rich fan, billionaire, whatever. He loves the show. He thinks the show should have caught on. It doesn't. He thinks we're just terrible at marketing. He can market it, and he just wants the show for his own love of it, and he wants more of it. He's like, "Hey guys, Marc and Jay, I want to sign you. I'll give you a professional studio. I want you to do the show 5 days a week. Every day it'll be like a 2-hour, 3-hour, maybe a 2-hour show, 5 days a week. I'm going to pay you each $150,000 a year. And I'll give you a 5-year contract. So you're locked in. You quit your job for the next 5 years. You're going to make $150,000 a year doing Brink of Sanity. And I'll cut you in for any advertising. You can make more than that if the show really takes off." Jay signs the contract. All excited. My contract negotiations break down over something about him not liking the fact that I bring up pedophilia every episode. They tell Jay not to worry. We love you. I love you, and I signed the perfect co-host. The co-host turns out to be a guy who has Tourette's and an awful stutter. Jay has to do a 2-hour show 5 days a week with this guy until he loses his fucking mind.
If Bry was offered that deal, you think he'd still quit 4 episodes in?
Probably.
And Andrew says, prank Jay with the original Brink Twitter handle being available.
I was like, Jay, actually, we got the $1 million. Apparently, they want more money.
All right. So my next one it plays off of my last one. So
Okay.
After 3 months of you not being able to eat black beans and just losing your mind, we ship you all the black beans we've been buying around your neighborhood for the last 3 months. So you get literally thousands of cans of black beans delivered to your house.
Just wake up, my entire lawn is like a black bean
Yeah,
fort.
you just more than you would ever be able to store your garage, your driveway, your front lawn, just black beans.
Okay. My next one is single white female Jay style. We buy the apartment next to Jay and move in an actor who will closely resemble Jay and do everything like Jay. He'll live with his Thai girlfriend, work in accounting, and Jay will overhear him doing a podcast every night. When Jay asks him what he does, he'll also mention that he has a side hustle that's about to blow up. He's an internet entrepreneur focusing on a brunch place reviews. He also has a widely popular growing music site called Joe Loves Music, focusing on European rock bands that no one's ever heard of. We'll see how long this takes to drive Jay nuts.
I like that. My doppelganger. Okay, my last one. So this one, we figure out your IP address, and we purchase targeted ads to every device in your house that promotes nothing but Fortnite skins to make your son beg for money to buy Fortnite skins all the time. Just Fortnite. You go on, you turn on the TV, it's ads for Fortnite skins. You go on the internet, it's ads for Fortnite skins.
You have no idea between Fortnite and Roblox how much money I've fucking wasted on virtual clothing and just dumb things in these games. These games, I wish if you told me Roblox costs $1,000, but then that everything's included, I might think that's a better deal.
Pretty much all my pranks involve you having a meltdown over a long period of time.
Oh, that's pretty easy. My last one, I'm going to hire a group of Chinese people to follow Jay around, all wearing T-shirts that say TikTok. Jay will swear that the Chinese are spying on him, and I'll just pretend to have no idea what he's talking about.
That's good.
That was a pretty solid top 5.
I liked it.
Jay, what's new with you? You said you had a story for the show?
It was just a quick side. It wasn't like a big story, but
It's a big story. Dun, 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 dun. Hit with a big story, Jay. Big finish.
you just really overhyped it. No, because
Jay, come on. Best story you're ever going to tell. Come on, go. The biggest thing, this is the news, Jay. This is it, Jay. Come on.
so I was put in charge of a project at work, and I have to ask other people to do things that take about 1 to 5 minutes. Just add this to some program, add it to a list. So I emailed this one guy, and he writes me back, and he said, "Why do I have to do that? That's absurd." And then refused to do it. And I don't know what to do with this information because he literally just told me what I asked him that would take 1 minute is absurd. And my project depends on him doing that. And he just won't.
Oh,
I know it's you really overhype. If I did that at the beginning of the show, it would have been a better story. But
it's going to, okay, Jay, do you want to cut to that scene? Jay, you seem to send me this email. And why do I have to do this, Jay? I don't see why I have to put this Excel spreadsheet together.
you know this conversation we're having?
Mask, dude! You're trying to give me COVID? We're supposed to wear... Did you know the protocols in our office? What the hell's wrong with you, Jay? Do you not like my family? You want me to die? I have kids, Jay.
Well, I don't even know how to react to this right now.
Anyway, I saw the email. I'm not going to do this Excel spreadsheet thing, and I'm now kind of offended to how you treat COVID. But go on, Jay.
You realize this conversation took 5 times as long as what I asked you to do.
I can't hear you through the mask. Can you speak up?
I actually got that today, too.
Yeah, are you a fan of the Star Wars? Are you a fan of Star Wars? Those movies?
A few years ago, I would have said huge fan, but now they've had almost as many bad movies as good movies. Some of them I love, some of them are my all-time favorites, and some of them I think are trash.
Okay. Are you a fan of Marvel, the Marvel universe?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay. Do you think so? Star Wars. How many think they? So do you think they're being overdone? I guess the question really is: Star Wars and Marvel, are they going too far with all like? Are they diluting the brands?
There hasn't been too many Star Wars movies.
They have all these other things. So apparently, Star Wars has now 16 film/TV projects in the pipeline.
Yeah, it's not diluted yet, but I think they're going to. Like
They're coming out. They're including a new trilogy, spin-offs for popular characters like Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. Seems kind of crazy.
Yeah, like Mandalorian was great, but now they're doing a Boba Fett one and a Skywalker one, and if you count the animated stuff, it's like there's so many. But
I mean, by the way, Disney Plus is just Star Wars stuff, Marvel stuff, and The Simpsons.
pretty much.
Marvel has 26 films. They have 20 more projects planned for the next 2 years.
How many of those films do you think I've seen?
Of the 26,
Yeah,
15.
23.
You're fucking kidding me.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Which 3 have you not seen?
I have not seen Black Widow, which came out, like, I think in January of this year.
Okay.
Eternals, which came out last month, and the Spider-Man one that came out today.
Isn't Black Widow on Disney Plus already?
Yeah. I watched Shang-Chi instead the other day.
Okay. I have just some version of me, like a teenage me, may have been really into this stuff. At some point I just couldn't. I haven't seen most of these. I feel like I should. I feel like I would like maybe watching these, but I've not watched almost any of them.
Yeah, I think you watched 1 or 2 and you said they were pretty good, but like...
Yeah, not like I don't like. I mean, I saw the original Iron Man. I like that a lot. And I like some of the Spider... Are the original Spider-Man movies, are they counted for Marvel? He's Marvel, right?
No, only the last 3 have counted for Marvel. The first 6 did not.
They're not counting certain ones? Like, why? Wait, why are they not counting the first 6?
The first 5, I mean. It's not
First
part
5.
of... The whole cinematic universe started after... Also, Fox owned certain characters, so they weren't part of the whole Marvel universe thing. So like Fantastic Four, X-Men, at some point Spider-Man, like all those were different. They're making like Venom and Deadpool, so that they're not part of the whole Marvel.
Wait, Venom and Deadpool are just outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Because Fox owned them. So
No, but I'm saying, there's Fox still owns. I don't
Yes.
understand, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, Fox still owns them, so they're making movies. So that's not counted toward the 26 because they're making movies, but they're not part of that universe.
Oh, the X-Men are not part of this.
Nope. So I've seen all those movies too. That's not part of the 26.
You see, I've just seen I've seen a bunch of these superhero movies, but not. I've seen some of the, I guess I haven't seen the more recent Spider-Man. Are the more recent Spider-Man's better than the older Spider-Mans?
I like the first new one, and I thought the second one was not that good. And the new one looks really good. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
From what I've heard so
got-
far, the new one's awesome. And then there's an
I guess I
animated Spider-Man that's really good.
Yeah, I've heard the Into the Spider multiverse or something like that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh. Yeah, I'm really well behind. There are a lot of superheroes out now. Because also CW does all their own superheroes. The Arrowverse.
Yeah, the whole DC. Yeah.
Yeah. So I told you I watched with my kids Flash, and they're really into that.
And then Hulu has a couple. They have like Cloak and Dagger and The Runaways and MODOK and there's so many.
Holy shit! Can anyone do a good Superman? Is that I know he's DC, but the one character I'd like to see a good Superman movie, and there really hasn't been one since 1980.
It's like the original Superman movie was good, and then it's been all trash since for like 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, what characters? So what superhero character, DC, Marvel, would you like to see a better version of, or a better movie focusing on them?
X-Men. Almost all the X-Men movies have been trash.
Oh, I'm surprised you haven't liked any of them.
I liked 2 of them, and there's like 6 of them. I'm not counting Wolverine and Deadpool movies, just X-Men movies. I liked X2. And
Okay.
I liked First Class. And pretty much all the rest were trash.
Did you like the Incredible Hulk movies?
Yes. Not the first one. I like the Ed Norton one.
Okay. I like the TV version of the Incredible Hulk.
Where they just
That doesn't count as the Marvel universe, does it?
No, that is not in scope.
It'd be great if they're like, no, we're gonna count Lou Ferrigno. We count that. We make an exception. Jay, what else is new? Do we have any questions? I don't think we have any questions.
We have an email. We're just about out of time. But Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, but what episode of Brink will there be a reveal about the name of the shitty company that Jay used to work for? Episode 400, 500?"
Oh, Jay, do you want to reveal the name of it?
They made me sign a non-disclosure agreement that I would never talk bad about them.
Well, if you say it on Brink of Saturday, they'll never know.
So I may say what it rhymes
Well,
with.
it's fine. You don't really have to, Jay.
But yeah, it's a terrible place. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com is our email, by the way.
Oh, also, I mean, I don't know enough about the old company. I don't know if the whole company's evil. Just the vision that Jay worked in kind of sucked, right? Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, most other people in other departments seem happy. It's just like one terrible, toxic manager.
Right. You just picked the worst, so no reason to disparage the whole company.
Stuart writes, "Gentlemen, are you aware of the current UFO developments? I assume you both know something of it. It's going to dramatically unfold very soon. I promise you that. It's sitting with Congress as we speak. Their existence is now fact. Literally nobody is talking about this, and potentially this could be the biggest story of the year. What the fuck? We are all too self-absorbed and distracted by other shit to even notice. Did you catch that episode of the Kardashians the other night, more importantly?" So, yeah, Congress, released some files confirming that there's UFOs, and the story disappeared immediately, which was insane.
So 2 things. I do have a friend who I talk to on occasion who's obsessed with UFOs and just talks about it all the time. And he's always like, he'll tell me stuff and he goes, do you think this is real? Like, are they here? And I'm like, I have no idea. Sure, they could be. I have no idea. Yeah, but I'm like, whatever you're saying, like, that could be right. The fuck, I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. God could be real. God could be not real. I don't know.
I mean, I just find it insane that like everyone's like, and like ignore it.
The UFO story. You're talking about the thing they released on like what the pilot saw. That's what you're talking about, right, Jay? Yeah, they had a thing like all these pilots that reported UFOs, and they had a whole thing they released on it, which was kind of inconclusive. They just said like we can't really prove what those things were.
Yeah, but you know they know.
I have no idea if they know or not. I don't know if they really are or not. Do you think aliens are here, Jay?
Yeah.
What for? What's the big alien story? Is that what the guy's talking about, the emailer? Or is there more to it?
Yeah, Stuart.
Could you give us more information about this? 'Cause I am curious. My friend tells me something about there's some kind of theory that aliens have been crossbreeding with humans and they're making a hybrid race. Again, I said to my friend, okay, that could be. I don't know. We'll find out. Can you send us more information about this?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I thought they released some files too that.
You're not sure about the hybrid human thing, Jay?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm pulling a Joe Rogan. No matter how crazy thing you say, you're like, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Every Joe Rogan interview. That's interesting. You did all that stuff. You want to talk about hunting with me?
Have you ever tried DMT?
Every interview, no matter who they get. Oh, Barack Obama. This is wonderful having you on the show. Can we talk about jiu-jitsu?
It's just whatever he feels like talking about. It has nothing to do with the guest. It's just whatever he's in the mood to talk about that day.
I see. He had a writer on that I really like. And the interview actually, I find Joe Rogan just very boring. A lot of he can make the most interesting interviewer very boring. But I like this guest, and like the guest brought up a book he wrote, and I swear Joe Rogan was like, "Oh, you wrote a book?" Like just no research whatsoever on some of the guests.
So we've done more research on our guest next week than Joe Rogan does.
Yes, pretty much.
Cool. We are out of time. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com. The brinkofsanityshow.com is the website. The Brink of Sanity on Patreon. If you want to follow us on Twitch and join the chat, twitch.tv/crumpledbacon. We're also doing the shows on YouTube now, youtube.com/TITOWAJ. And I think that covers everything.
Jay, what would you do if they announced that we've confirmed aliens have been here and they exist? What do you do next?
I want to see some videos. I want to see some pictures. I want details.
But what if they're like, we're just not going to release them? Like, I'm curious how they're like, hey, we have these only pictures we have. There's not much. They were here. We don't really know that much, to be honest. They're smarter than us, and they're aliens now. We don't know when they're coming back. Go on with your life.
You know, most of the population would just deny that happened and say it's not real.
I don't know. I mean...
Well, I mean, all the religious people automatically have to say that's not true. Because that'll debunk their entire religion. So, right there.
Do aliens, like dinosaurs don't debunk, but aliens do?
Oh, no, they don't believe in dinosaurs either.
Oh. Oh, yeah, they believe like dinosaurs were just like plant some mass conspiracy to plant the bones?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wondered, like, it would just be like a kind of like, they're like, we've been invaded by aliens. Everything you've been doing up to this point is pointless. We're now going to be enslaved.
Don't blame me. I voted for Kodos.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for joining in the chat. And, we'll be back soon. Thank you, Anthony, Andrew, MVP fans. And Lorenzo for the emails.
I was going to say, next week we have our big interview.
Yep. Next week we got our big interview. And then I guess we'll take a break for the holidays, and we'll be back in 2022 for Brink of Sanity's 14th season.
You're going to make me cry.
That's crazy. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. It's all over.
This is the end.
Say goodbye.